Hi guys, Ange here. Thanks for joining me. In today's video, I'm going to take you through the new Natasha Denona Bronze palette. I'm going to show you 4 different eye looks and share my thoughts on this beauty. Hi, welcome to my channel Angela Stuart Beauty, where I share all things beauty and lifestyle to help you feel your best as a mature woman. If that sounds like you, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would love to see you back. I upload 2 videos a week, and if you would like to know when they are uploaded, just click on this notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when I upload new videos. Natasha Denona. Wow, I do enjoy her palettes. I have to say, recently I'm absolutely loving her mini palettes. I think they are an awesome way to try Natasha Denona quality at an affordable price. I didn't get the Love palette because the Love palette was just too pinky for me, not my tones, so I skipped that. But I thought I was going to really enjoy the warm bronzy tones in this palette here. This retails for $65 US, and I purchased mine from Beautylish. My review's a little bit later because it does take a bit of time to get products here in New Zealand. But in this video I have done 4 eye looks using this, trying to use different shades and showing you how I have used this palette to create those 4 different looks. The Natasha Denona Bronze palette, this is in the new sort of arrangement that Natasha is now putting out her palettes, where the actual palette size itself is a little bit smaller. The shadow pans inside are smaller than her original $129 palettes were when they came out. These retail for $65. I really appreciate the cost of these palettes. They are more obtainable than the $129 palettes, and I very rarely hit pan in my shadows. I do have quite a collection, so I appreciate that the shadow pan sizes are smaller, especially when they only have a shelf life of, I believe, 24 months. So 2 years is the recommended shelf life. I must admit, I do use my shadows for longer than that, but the recommended shelf life for this is 24 months. I wouldn't go through a palette that quickly, so I appreciate the smaller sized pans at the more affordable price. You have your magnetic closure, you have a mirror on the inside. I appreciate that you are able to depot these pans and put them into your own customizable palette if you wish. I always like the versatility of shadows for that purpose. For travel, when it may happen again, do like the idea that you can create something smaller if you wish. So, without further ado, let's get into the 4 eye looks. Okay, so there is no bone shade in here. So I'm going to go all over my eyes with the Hourglass diffused light and just set my eye primer. I do like to set my eye primer. It just stops any pulling and dragging of the shadows. Now today I'm going to make the most of this pretty colour here, something different. What I see to be the lightest transition shade, Beach. Going in with my R37 Morphe brush and just taking that into my upper eye area, filling in that real estate that I have there. Bringing it down to the lash line on the outer area of my eye. Okay, so I'm just building that up just a little bit, and I'm taking it right into the where I did my contouring or bronzing of my nose, just in here. So I'm taking it right into there. And just laying down that foundation for a transition shade. Now I'm going to go in with that really cool shade Rhodium, and I'm going to take that all over my lid. Didn't really want to pick that up then. I'm going to try a different brush. I'm going to try a Morphe S12 brush. It's a bit more dense. And I'm going to blend that all over my lid. For what I hope to be a smoky eye. Don't know if I like that either. Let's try a Sephora Pro number 14 brush. That's better. That's much better. Wow, and I've dipped my brush in a bit heavier that time. That's the brush that likes that. Wow, what a beautiful colour. So I will go back in with the S12 Morphe brush and just blend those edges. So what I'm doing with the brush is I'm literally just letting it follow my eyeball shape. By just running it backwards and forwards, the brush is all just finding that shape of my eyeball. Then I'll go in with a little bit, of course lift my little corner and add it to the outer lower lash, blending that up to connect. Just so that I fill in that blank space. And running that all underneath. Professional blending eye brush, and I'm going to go in with Deep Dive, this dark brown, and I am just going to add that into the outer under corner or underneath of my eye. And just flick that up a little bit, dragging that up and out. Very deep, rich brown, very deep brown. And back in with our brush that had that rhodium colour, and just blending and blending it up. And I'm going to go in with the colour Suntan and just run that underneath the eye as well. Bit of black eyeliner in my waterline. Okay guys, so that is the look for look number 1. I'll just turn my light on here. My wee makeup mirror light, so you can see the look a bit better. And with it off, And I've put lashes on because my lash extensions are needing to be replaced and I don't have enough to do a full set. I have to order some more, so I have put on some false lashes for this look.
Okay, look number 2, and I'm taking the colour Beach. This is a matte shade, and I am just taking that up into the transition area and blending that just across in window shield wiper sort of motion, blending it in the outer corner and then shading it in towards the inner and just concentrating on that outer portion of the eyelid. Then I'm going in with colour High Degree. This is a nice warm metallic shade, and I'm using one of my Wayne Goss eyeshadow brushes, and I'm just concentrating on the outer edge of my eyelid and just blending that in with our transition shade. And now I'm running that same colour underneath the eye and just blending that in the lower lashes. I don't know what I was thinking with this time filming, where I decided not to talk to anybody, so hence the voiceover. So I'm just blending that from the outer into the socket line and just blending away there. And my camera isn't focusing very well. Okay, now I have missed what colour I'm going in with here. It is Silk, and I'm just adding that to my lid using the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette brush that comes in the eyeshadow palettes, and I'm just packing that on the lid on the inner half of my eyelid, taking it up to the transition shade. Now I'm going in with Magma. This is a matte shade, and I'm just building up that very outer corner and just softly blending that in towards the High Degree shade that we used. Then I'm just going back in with the first transition brush with no extra product and just blending everything together so that we don't have any harsh lines. Adding some lashes, and I have added eyeliner as well, just black eyeliner.
Okay, look number 3. I'm going to go in with Sundown. Okay, so I've just taken that shade Sundown and I've just taken it in the outer edge there and just blended that just very loosely in circular motions right to the inner corner. I'm going to take a Sonia G brush in the Crease Pro. I'm going to go in with Bliss, and I'm just going to follow the same sorts of lines that I did with the first transition shade, but just come down a little bit lower into the crease, into the socket area. And just blending it out. And as I was showing you in another look, I just find it's really easy just to let the brush take its course around your eyeball to do some shading, and it's just really easy to follow that groove there, for a better word. Now I'm going to take my Anastasia eye primer and just a tiny little bit of this with a concealer brush from Sigma. I'm just putting a tiny little bit on my finger and try my best to cut that into the lid. And I'm just going to use that on the inner portion of the eye. Might just come up a little bit more so that you can see that shade when my eye is open and looking straight ahead. Take a flat little shader brush and I'm going to take this shade here, which is True Bronze, which is quite a gold colour and quite glittery, and I'm going to pack that on top of that concealer. Going back in with our Sonia G brush, and I'm just going to blend Bliss in with that gold that we've added. And I'm going to run that a little bit under my eye as well. I actually wish there was another darker colour in between Deep Dive and say this reddy colour here. So we'll try Magma, which is the very warm russet colour. We'll see if we can do a outer corner deepening here with that. Got a lot of creases in my eyes as I'm aging. I'm just having to raise that eyebrow just so that I can get a little bit more of a smooth canvas. Actually that colour is quite nice as an outer corner colour. Okay, so I'm just going to go back in with my Sonia G brush with no extra product to just, actually I might add a little bit of Bliss just to give, I quite like that transition between the gold and the darker brown, just with a little bit of that warm corally shade. Okay, going to go back in with our original transition shade and just try and blend all that so that it doesn't look like it stops and finishes with those darker shades. So just really lightly blending that in, blowing it out. Okay, so I'm just going to throw on some eyeliner and some lashes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have lined my eyes on the inner rim, upper and lower lashes with my NARS Via Veneto, added some lashes, and that is the finished look for look number 3. Okay, and then just set the eye primer with my Hourglass Diffuse Light because there isn't a bone shade in the palette. So I've been setting just with the setting powder. Today I'm going to go with Ridge, which is a mustardy warm brown. just pop that all in my transition area. Trying to use different colours in all these looks. I am drawn to some colours more than others. I'm going to use a couple today that I have used before, but I'm also incorporating some different shades. This is one of them. Definitely quite a nice, actually, mustardy colour. I quite like that. The colour that I haven't used is this shimmer shade here called High Degree, and I will go in with a smaller one. Let's try Wayne Goss number 19 brush for that. Taking High Degree and just popping that in the outer, and then I'm going to bring that in on my natural crease line. This is super pigmented and I haven't used much of the colour out of the pan at all, and that is just spreading so easy. Going to use the same brush and that colour and run it under my eye. I'm probably being a little bit quicker with today's look because I'm actually going out and I haven't got a heap of lot of time. So whereas I would sit and and ah about the colours that I'm going to use, I'm being a little bit more decisive and quick with my choice. Going to go in with my Sonia G Crease Pro brush, and I really love this rhodium shade, so I am going to use that today and pop that in my outer corner. And see if I can use that as my outer V. Now I'm getting a lot of fallout. I hope I can fix that up. I didn't tap my brush. Bother. Okay, I'm going to try and tap my brush. I really like that shade, so that's going to be my outer V shade instead of the dark brown. Love this shade. Probably my favourite shade in the palette. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with True Copper, and I might try my fingers first. I wish there was a more champagne-y shade in here. They're all so warm that I just wish there was a couple of more neutral shades to give a more varied look instead of just super warm looks for every look. So I'm actually going to go and get a highlighter, and I'm going to try overlaying that with Anastasia Amrezy. Okay, so I still feel that's really warm. So I'm going to go in with Anastasia Amrezy and see if I can sort of tone down the warmness. I just find that the colours are translating super warm on me. Yes, they're warm in the palette, but I just like that a little bit better. Yeah, I think I'm a little bit more happy with that. Okay, so going back in with the Wayne Goss colour with, we had High Degree, and I haven't added any extra pigment or shadow to the brush. I'm just blending in the top area there. Okay, so liner, lashes, I'll be right back. Okay, so that is the last look that I have done using this palette. I reused my favourite shade in this palette in this look, which is this shade here, the Rhodium. It's more of a purpley shade. I actually think it's the only shade in this palette for me that saves it from being just a total warm one-hit pony palette. I really like this deep dive. I love this dark brown in here, and I do love the shades in here, but I have found with the looks I've created very warm. I like this today because I went in with my Amrezy highlighter to tone down the very warm shade of the glitter that I put on today, and by toning that down I feel a lot more comfortable with this look today. Okay guys, I hope those 4 different looks were helpful. My thoughts, I have found this palette to be very warm. If you love your warm shades, you will absolutely love this palette. I personally, as much as I do like it, I wouldn't say I love it. For me, it is missing a matte bone shade in here just to give some variety to the all warm looks. I feel every look I created was extremely warm. Now I would have to say I don't think the silk is a foiled rich champagne. To me, that's straight out a gold. I don't see anything champagne about that shade at all. I would have appreciated it more if this was more a champagne shade in this palette, just to give it a little bit more variety from it being so warm. I don't know, I just felt it was missing 2 of those colours to make this a more wearable palette, but that's my personal opinion. Everybody else has absolutely raved about this palette, and I get it, it's beautiful, and I just feel I would need to pull colours in from elsewhere to help it fit into my lifestyle. But the shades perform well, they're very pigmented, blended very easily. I did get a little bit of fallout today, but I didn't tap my brush off, so that's actually my fault. The foiled shades and the metallic shades, very wonderful payoff. I did find better with my finger than a brush. And so yeah, I do have this. I will keep this, but I probably didn't need it. I think the Sunrise palette gives me just a little bit of difference from the rest of my eyeshadow collection. As long as I can tone this down with other neutral shades, and I could probably pull from the Bieber palette and mix with this, then I feel I'll get a lot more use from this for my personal makeup looks. Please let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. I hope you've all had a beautiful and a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later guys. Bye.